Hello and welcome back to another Syracuse University esports broadcast. We're coming back at you with some more PEC action. Tonight, some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm Ryan Blankenhorn, and joining me on the desk once more is the one, the only Noah. Noah, how are you feeling tonight, my friend?
Thank you for the great introduction, Ryan. First of all, happy Halloween.
Yes.
Let's get some candy tonight.
Spooky.
I would say trick or treat to Syracuse, but this week it's been all tricks. It seems like a winless week for the Orange. Not great towards the end of the stretch.
Yeah. It's not great, but, right, kind of like something. I'm going to go way back in time here, Back to the Future. Sorry. I was thinking Halloween movies, and I think I was watching that like a few nights ago. But go all the way back in time, Boise State, right? Week number one. Syracuse was just struggling that entire week, right? Lost every match. There was a little bit of signs of life there from the Overwatch team on day 2, but as a whole, Syracuse almost getting swept that week. But then the Smash team comes out and gets Syracuse a win on the board and make sure that sweep doesn't happen, right? So this team ending on Thursdays is always something to be on the lookout for, because they're always the team that can always find a way to just keep Syracuse there and keep them on the board.
Of course, and it's definitely possible this week. Nebraska and Syracuse, similar records coming into the week. Smash-wise, I would say they're similar, but we did get some word earlier that there's might be some matchups that don't really favor the Orange here tonight. But you can't just look at the paper. You know, it still has to be played out, so who knows what can happen.
Yeah, exactly, right? You know, that's sort of one thing you mentioned, right? Nebraska and Syracuse. For those of you who already didn't know, that is the matchup for this week, right? One more week left after this one of the PEC. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second, but Nebraska and Syracuse, right? Both of these teams have, I believe, like the same record overall now, 7-9, I believe, for both of these universities, as well as in Smash, they're both 3-2 right now, right? So almost identical, but like you mentioned, right, the Orange, a little bit of a roster switch up tonight, right? That might throw a wrench into some of the play styles here, but we were talking to them a little bit earlier before this broadcast started, some of their plans, some of their changes going into tonight, how they're going to go about. We're going to see players familiar such as Luigi coming back out, the DDD/Min coming out, but also players that are a little bit newer, right? We might see that Lucina come out again, the DK Mario come out as well. So definitely some changes, but no longer are we going to see that Yoshi or the Zelda tonight.
No, and that's a devastating loss to the Orange. I mean, just going based off last week, the only sign of life Syracuse really had was that Yoshi last week. He was the only one that really put up or took stocks off the board, really. Losing him, I mean, they're not playing Michigan State. Nebraska is definitely a far worse team compared to the Spartans. But they're in that same ballpark where it's still scary not having that Yoshi to throw out there. And we also kind of learned about what Nebraska's lineup is. And the matchups there are not the greatest for the Orange.
Yeah, Palantena, if you remember from last week against Michigan State University, that was a little bit of a rough one for the Orange to go up against.
They had no counter for Palantena.
Coming out as well. Bayonetta, I think, was a little tease as well that we heard. So a lot of things that could possibly come up for this week against Nebraska. And like I mentioned, right, one more week left after this. Next week we'll be going up against Kansas for week number 7. Week 7. Yeah, week 7.
Week 7.
It's been a lot of weeks. Week number 7 of this tournament. And one more thing to add to that, right? Next week, final week of this sort of section of the PEC, right? And what I mean by that is this, right? 7 weeks, these players grind it out. They go up against these rosters 4 days a week, and Monday on Rocket League, Tuesday Overwatch, Wednesday Valorant, and Thursday Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They finish the season a little earlier than most people would really think in typical collegiate leagues, right? They take a break, they go back, they perfect things, and then going into next semester, another season starts where once again you go up against these same 7 schools, right? The same 8 teams competing in the PEC. They go up against each other again, and then once again, they finish a little early. They're not going to finish in late May like some other leagues. They're going to finish a little bit earlier than that, right? They're going to finish in March. And then in April, there will be an on-site LAN that every team gets to compete in for all of the marbles. Now, I'm way ahead of myself. That's so far in the future, but that is going to happen. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week as the PEC approaches its sort of preseason or half-season finish there, but a little bit more on that later, Noah, but it's exciting.
Very unique format, right? Like a little mid-season break, you know, everybody gets to relax for a bit, and then we're going back spring, meeting up again, going against the same teams. Almost like you get Gotta get a rematch if you want to, get some revenge next semester. But very fun, and then that in-person final, really exciting stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of things heating up there, Noah, first match on the line here, the Link and the Lucina going to start off here for Syracuse and Nebraska in this 4v4 crew battle best of 3. Syracuse going to start a little bit on the rocky end here as this Link is just finding a lot of value in this percentage buildup. I mean, right now Syracuse is struggling to find that angle to really get in.
Yeah, we talked about Lucina last week. Very hard character to kind of, perfect. A character that requires a lot of timing, really good angles. Very hard, hard to perfect. And against a Link, another sword fighter who, in my opinion, is more favorable in this matchup. As we see right there, yeah. And it seems like a skilled Link too, so that's already an issue as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Link, right, is as that character, you just have so much ability to take these close sword fights, but also you have that bow, right? You have that bomb to use as well. Link is a very scary character. A nice grab is going to come in, though, for the Lucina, but not going to be able to find a good combo to really find any sort of major value against this Link here. Nebraska starting off very strong here, 2 to their name. A combo going to go in, and we'll find the boomerang as well onto that. Syracuse just trying to find their grasp back into this one. They don't want to go out 0-3 on this first round here, Noah, but it's a struggle to see. What does Syracuse need to do to find this?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, with the range Link has in his attacks, and Lucina doesn't have that, that's just a clear advantage already. Lucina just has to find a way to kind of avoid these attacks, maybe stay on the edge, don't give Link any space, find the right angles, and as we saw right there, send him off the edge right there. Just find good angles, get the timing down, and put up a fight here. It's looking like Nebraska's going to win. It's hard to come back down 3-1 like this, but at least you got one stock off the board right there.
Ooh. Yeah, and I mean, just like that, fast and quick, Nebraska will take off Syracuse there. 3 stocks to only 1 lost, right, for Nebraska. So if you're Syracuse there, it's a little bit of a rocky start, right, but you showed some signs of life there, right, taking that 1 stock out. We expected Lucina to come out first here, right, just sort of test the waters, feel out the battlefield a little bit to see what that next player is going to go in for. Obviously, you and I talked about this a little bit already, right? Going in, Syracuse doesn't have that strong anchor today on the Yoshi, so they're going to have to make some changes and make some adaptations going into this. It looks like we might be getting our Min player in, though. So going into this here, right, the Link and the Min, or potentially the DDD, right, Noah? What are we going to see going into this? What do you think Syracuse needs to find the value of on Min?
Min's a very fun character to just watch. Min's a character where you could just get these string of attacks going on, just full-on offense, and the opponents really can't do anything about it. But again, similar to Lucina, Min's a very hard character to kind of perfect there. It really depends on who's on the sticks.
Yeah.
If you can get those combos going and, not give Link any space, Syracuse should take this with ease, honestly. I do think this is a favorable matchup for the Orange. But that Link looked really impressive. Maybe it's just me getting like Michigan State PTSD with every single player last week, just being insanely good. But I was not expecting Link to just kind of cruise by that first round like that. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and that's one thing as well, right, to think about in terms of like the mental is, you just came off of that loss against Michigan State.
Yeah.
And it was close, and then it wasn't so close in other situations, right?
No.
It gets scary, right? And you have to go back and think, and this is easily the most competitive matchup Syracuse has, right? Even almost across the board, not just in Smash, but as universities, UNL and Syracuse, both of these rosters, basically 7-9 right now, minus the Overwatch difference because Nebraska doesn't have an Overwatch team, but basically identical here, and whoever wins this matchup will likely be taking that next seeding spot going into next semester, like we briefly discussed, right? Going into next week as well against Kansas, right? So there's a lot on the line right now for these two teams because of how close together they are in the seeding.
Yeah, and it's towards the end of the season. You want to end the year on a strong note, right? You don't want to come into the spring semester, kind of on a losing streak. And Syracuse is already on a losing streak right now. They don't want to extend that. But the mental aspect is huge here. You just got dominated by the Spartans last week, right? So the confidence, sure, Michigan State's undefeated. Sure, you weren't expected to win, but you probably would have wanted to put up a better fight than what you really did, right? So now against a team like Nebraska, there's way more on the line here because now they're the same record. So now you can't use that record excuse, that, oh, Michigan State's undefeated excuse. Now you got to really show out the talent, and after that first game, it's tough. Min, I think, might be our best player for the Orange tonight. I could be incorrect. Hopefully we get a good bounce back here. Good response from the orange.
Yep, the taunt to start it off, and the match has started just like that. This Link going strong, though the bomb will be attached for a second there, but just barely. Min feeling it out a little bit more, right? Seeing how they're going to find the value. Have the range to get there.
Wow.
Not going to find the ability to reset that recovery, and already Min will lose a stock to this Link here. Nebraska starting off strong, and Syracuse still trying to find their ranks here against this Link.
Yeah, we saw Link using the edge guard right away, and with the range attack set, there's really nothing you can do about it. Min's a full offense player. If the spacing's there, Link's going to take advantage of it. No response from Syracuse and a quick stock for Nebraska.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You have to take advantage of this space on Min, right? But it's very difficult to do that when this Link has the ability to just be right up in your face, right? And we're seeing that from this Min, and it's just, or from this Link, excuse me, and it's so oppressive coming out from Nebraska. They are just putting in so much pressure onto Syracuse here, onto this Min, trying to find some combos, trying to find some value, sitting on the edge here to use to that advantage, but going to get knocked off and not going to be able to find their way back in with the recovery either. And that's Syracuse losing 2 stocks already here.
Wow. And this is pretty surprising. Like, listen, Link's a solid character. I wouldn't put him high up in the game. But this Nebraska player is just super skilled. What I'm noticing is they're using a wide range. They're switching up the attacks here. They're being unpredictable, which is catching the orange off guard. They're throwing some range attacks. Once they get the orange player to the edge, though, they full-on rush like we're seeing here with the edge guarding. And a full-on sweep.
That's just... You get put in situations like that there, Noah, and it's so hard to come back. I mean, this Nebraska Link is just so aggressive. I mean, you start to get flashbacks a little bit to the Palantino we've seen against Michigan, right? And it begs the question, what now? Right? You have your Luigi player still on deck. You have that DK Mario still on deck. But this this Nebraska Link player, right? 6 stocks to 1 right now, really finding their groove, finding that value. And like you were mentioning as well, they have that ability to just switch up that play style.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, for the orange, I don't know what we can really do with Luigi or DK because both fighters are grappler characters.
Yeah.
Where they need to kind of be in your face to get going. This Nebraska player is utilizing Link's range attack super well, creating space. And we've seen in the first 2 games now, there's nothing that the orange could have done. I think it really just comes down to the player. Luigi's going to have to somehow try to avoid the bow, avoid the boomerang, avoid the bombs.
Yeah. Avoid the whole kit.
Avoid everything. You just got to get face-to-face with this guy. But the Link player is so shifty. I don't know. I don't want to be like a negative Nelly. I don't want to be a downer. You know, I don't want to like, cause, you know, we saw Michigan State last week. We were like, what can the orange do? What can the orange do? And there was never that response. We never saw that response. And I'm not seeing anything so far that really makes me think that the orange can respond here either, you know?
Yeah, and that is the question, right? That's where your coach has to come in and really make some decisions, right? What do we do? What have we seen from this Link, right? That's the plus side of sort of being at a disadvantage. And it's kind of a double-edged sword there, right? You're at a disadvantage, but there's the plus side. What are you talking about, right? The plus side is you've seen this Link play, right? You've seen them now for 6 stocks worth of your players. You know they can change that play style. You know they're going to take advantage of how you're going to play, but they haven't had to adapt yet, right? Make that change. Throw out your curveball if you want to, right? Make this Link confused, right? You were talking about it last week against Michigan State, right? Sometimes you play aggressive. Sometimes you play a little bit more passive, right? Syracuse as a whole needs to go back, right? The coaching needs to go back, take a look, right? What do we do? What can we change against this Link that will sort of send them off guard? And you also got to reset here, right? I think we're going to get our Luigi player index. So that going in, obviously 0 to 100, we talk about it a lot with this character. One of the most fun things to watch with Luigi, and one of the most scary if you get caught in that cycle of that sort of 0 to 100 moveset. But Noah, Link has the ability to bring this and sort of really pressure the Luigi out. So what are we really going to see here? What do you think we want to see from Syracuse to take this in their hands? I
mean, listen, Syracuse is already at a big deficit. Luigi got that 0 to death fight, attack ability. Why not just let it fly at this point? I don't want to say Syracuse has nothing to lose because I feel like it's still way too early in this match. But you're already down 5 stocks. We see what this Link could do. I say, I thought a commentary curse almost happened there. But I say just go full aggression, full offense here. You have to catch this Link off guard.
Yeah, exactly right. You have to catch the Link off guard. You have to make some changes to do so. But the combos are just coming in from this Link. And already they're going to look for it. Great little bomb will send this Luigi. They're going to be fighting off the edge. Look for some sort of failed recovery. But this Link still alive, still well. And it's so hard for Syracuse to find this value, find those combos back. They are attempting to here. Going to dodge the boomerang and will find one. And splat goes the Link on the front of your screen.
Huge. Yeah, Link came out really aggressive right there. I don't fully understand the playstyle there. I think, you know, you got the stock advantage. And against a fighter like Luigi, you could play a lot more reserved. Good job just staying calm for Luigi. He let Link slip up, and we see how dangerous he is. we see how dangerous Luigi is. Huge round for Syracuse.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? We were talking about it. It really is just like Luigi, right? You're in that 130% mark. It could get scary, right? One combo from that Link, and you're off the map. But on the flip side, Luigi, being such a light character, being such a character that relies on these combos, you land just a couple hits, and you are off the stage. And we saw that from Syracuse, a great way to start coming back. But you're still fighting a very uphill battle. You're still one player behind.
Yeah, I got my confidence back a little bit, though. That Luigi didn't lose a single stock. Took care of Link with ease. We saw the up B take Link's, both of Link's stocks, right?
Yeah.
That up B move is... I mean, maybe I'm biased, I'm a Luigi main, but I honestly think that's like a top 5 move in the game. It's when you could get the timing right, it's an instant kill almost every single time.
Yeah.
Very impressive stuff from Luigi, and now that confidence from the Orange side is getting back up there.
Yep.
The only advantage to the Cornhusker side is they saw the Luigi play, they saw the style, it's a very aggressive fighter. There are a lot of characters in the game that you could use to counter that.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you're Syracuse, right, you're feeling a little bit confident, you're bringing that sort of momentum back in your favor, but like you were saying, right, Nebraska, now they sort of know. They're like, all right, cool, we're going up against Luigi, let's send someone in that can find a good counter against that, right? And that's sort of the downside for Syracuse starting a little bit behind here is now Nebraska gets to make that decision. They get to make that change as needed. So obviously for Syracuse, you want to keep these combos going, you want to make it hard, but Noah, if you're Nebraska here, what exactly do you not want to see if you're Syracuse?
If you're Syracuse, you don't want to see that Palutena. You don't want to see a Bayonetta. Those are two of the most overpowered fighters in this game, in my opinion. They basically do it all. They're heavy hitters that also have very good range attacks. That doesn't bode well for Luigi. What we're seeing right now, we're getting a little preview of this matchup, and Nebraska's choosing to go a different route here. Very interesting. Very interesting pick.
Definitely a little bit of a switch up here.
Snake.
Not
Wow.
something you always expect to see. I mean, not a character you really expect to see here. Noah, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm a little lost. What are we going to see between these two, between this matchup?
I mean, Snake's a character that utilizes the range very well, so maybe that's why the Cornhuskers chose to go with him, because that counters Luigi. But he's also like a relatively slower character, and I think Luigi, if he gets the combos right, can fully take advantage of that, and we see him already getting to the edge right there. Yeah, really weird pick for the Cornhuskers here, but I don't know if the players are skilled enough. Let them do what they got to do, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? When it comes to Smash, sometimes it's not even a matter of, all right, let's just play a character that counters. Let's play your best, right? And, you know, maybe Snape is that character, right? Going in and finding the most value you can. A lot of grenades just being thrown in, just keeping that pressure on, keeping the distance, right? You don't want to get caught in that combo like we were talking that makes Luigi so powerful. And we're seeing some great plays from that right now, just forcing it just to stick behind. And, dropping the launcher. Some great plays coming out, and right now the recovery is just not going to be able to come in for Syracuse, and they're going to lose that stock.
Can't do anything there. I mean, Nebraska's just utilizing the spacing really well. And I love Luigi, that's my guy, but there's no moves he has in his little skill set that can really counter that. So great start for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, Nebraska's starting off very strong with this character, right? But Syracuse still finding the value when needed, right? If you can close that gap, you're going to find some good value. Will do so, right? A nice side kick will be able to send this thing a little bit to a rough situation, right? But a couple more hits, both these characters a little bit on the lighter side right here, Noah. So this Luigi looking to find one more, maybe 1-2 combo, hits him off with the side, still staying in, still staying on this stage. Both of these characters looking a little high on the percentage here. One hit could send either one off the stage. Syracuse obviously looking to try to trade this 2-for-1 deal if they can, but it's going to be difficult trying to hold that range, and we are going to see Nebraska finds the
that Snake's recovery is just so good. It's so hard to knock him off the stage because he just uses that little, I don't even know what that is, like that glider that gets him so much airtime. And Luigi, he's got nothing like that. Luigi, a lot of good aerial attacks, but nothing to really go up to Snake's range like we see right there. Luigi just has to wait for him to touch the ground, and the Snake player prefers staying in the air with the aerial attacks, and it's worked in their advantage so far, but as we just saw there, SU takes that first stock.
Yeah, right. And, you know, if you're Syracuse, you're able to find a stock there. You're trying not to lose this one, though, right? I know it feels like pretty obvious to say, right?
Yeah.
But it really does come down to that, right? There's so much writing on this final stock here for yourselves. You're 4 stocks behind. You're 1 player behind right now. You have to find the value to get rid of this Snake, get rid of Nebraska, try to bring it back into your favor, but just so much ranged attack coming in that this Luigi can't find a way to close this gap, even with the shield coming in, trying to find that value, but not able to do so, trying to find the combos, but it's getting shut down every time here, Noah, and it's getting really difficult for Syracuse to find this next stock.
These grenades are just killing SU right now. And that's all it is. That's all it is with this matchup. I think Nebraska realized that, and I think, looking at it now, Snake was a very smart choice. As we see him get the final blow right there. The range just killed Luigi, and yeah, I mean, it's just a bad matchup for SU. Again, that Nebraska player seemed very skilled. He knew what he was doing, and it's clear they had a strategy there. Yeah. That was all range. That whole game was just the Cornhuskers utilizing their spacing and just basically baiting SU into trying to push, and then just landing into a bomb, exploding off the map.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right, is now you're on your final player, that DK and or Mario most likely, right? Nebraska, you have a lot of tricks up your sleeve still after this Snake, right? If you're Syracuse, obviously, you got to be aware of that range now, right? You've got to be aware this Snake is just going to start pressuring and peppering you down, increasing that percentage until eventually he's going to walk up and just smack you off the stage. So if you're a Syracuse here, right, we might see the DK, we might see the Mario. Could throw curveball here, Noah. What do you think we should see, we want to see from Syracuse to go up against a Snake?
Now if we're just comparing Mario and Donkey Kong, I'd rather see Donkey Kong.
Okay.
Now, Mario is pretty much the same as Luigi, right? And DK, Mario, and Luigi are all in that grappler character category. The only reason I would rather see Donkey Kong is just because he's more of a heavy character, so he could take those hits better.
Yeah.
And I also think he has a better recovery than Mario. But personally, I'd rather see neither. I'd rather see a character that could counter Snake, either a speedy character, like, I don't know, off the top of my head, a Sheik, a Greninja. I know Syracuse says that we don't have those players on our team, but someone like in that range, or just someone with range as well. You know, maybe a Samus, a Mega Man. You know, why can't we also have a Palutena or a Bayonet on our side too? You know, maybe one of those. That wouldn't hurt. We're seeing another preview though.
I don't know. I saw it too, and I saw the glimmer in your eyes as I saw it on the screen.
I just sighed out the screen a little bit, and I was like, all right, maybe I should shut up now.
I mean, look, what I've been saying is throw curveballs, right? You know, when it comes down to it, I may be able to yap about the game, but you know it, right? And that's what it comes down to. But one thing that I always like to yap about is throwing curveballs, right? Finding some different thing to throw Nebraska off their guard and really confuse them going into that matchup. And Syracuse potentially going up on this Mii Brawler to make some changes, make some waves, really. And I mean, Noah, the Brawler versus the Snake. Talk to me.
Now, listen, I don't want to keep going back to the Michigan State performance from last week, but it wasn't pretty for Mii Brawler last week against MSU. And against a fighter like... Now, I like Mii Brawler. I do think Mii Brawler is a better fighter than like Mario or Donkey Kong, because I think they have a wider range of moves you could use. But matchup-wise against Snake, I don't see it. We just saw what happened with Luigi. I don't really see a difference here, to be honest. If Snake just, again, controls the pace of the game, sticks to the game plan, I honestly could see Nebraska just taking it home right here.
Yeah, it is entirely possible, right? Syracuse looking at a 5-stock deficit right now. Not only that, but a 2-player deficit. This Mii Brawler needs to find that way through, right? But it's going to be difficult. The grab comes in. Nebraska finding some good value in that percentage, already increasing it. This Mii Brawler just trying to live, and it's just making life very difficult. Will find a nice combo, but is going to get switched up in return. This Snake, okay to take this close battle, right? We're going to see this Brawler is going to also like the close battle proximity proximities, right? They're going to like to be able to get into those combos, but the Snake also willing to take that as well, and you have to be aware, you have to respect that in both situations. Losing a stock, Syracuse looking a little rough here. Your anchor is out, and it's just trying to find the value, but you're not quite able to do it here, Noah.
Yeah, and this Snake player, you know, I've been saying Snake's a character that utilizes range, needs spacing to be successful, but this Nebraska player has been really aggressive so far against this brawler and is thriving in the hand-to-hand combat. It's making me think Nebraska is just throwing away the game plan completely. They're scratched the blueprint. Our players are skilled. Why do we need to utilize that spacing?
Yeah.
All right, contradicting what I'm saying right there, obviously, of course.
Start the caster count
yeah,
up, right?
Of course.
Caster
Here we go
right
again. No, but yeah, impressive start from Snake. If he's doing hand-to-hand combat, there's no way to it's gonna be hard to take him down, pretty much. But good stock taken by the mid brawler.
Yeah, and right, we are seeing, right, not only are we going to see the hand-to-hand in the brawl, right, but we're also seeing, right, that slight range that the brawler has, using that to their advantage to try to stun out this Snake before they're able to get in as well and take that hand-to-hand brawl, like you were mentioning, right? But both these players looking for the value, right? Obviously, the Snake here for Nebraska, you've done your job, right? You've done everything you want. Obviously, you want to try to get a clean sweep here. You want to try to get them out, but you've done your job if you are Nebraska. Syracuse on the other side, right? You don't want to risk losing anything else. You don't want to go into this situation where you're 1 stock to 6 here. So you just have to get rid of this Snake, and it's reaching a point where one more combo, one more grenade, one more rocket launcher, and you may get sent off, and just like that, slam down with the kick and off up to the top of the screen there. Syracuse down to their final stock here, Noah. It's getting scary.
And even if Syracuse wins this round, losing that stock right there is just so devastating because, like we've been saying, there's 2 more fighters still for the Cornhuskers. At least with 2 stocks, I feel you have more of a chance to be competitive, you know, maybe at least get through all 4 fighters, you know, win next round, and then if you don't win the 4th round, at least you get to see what Nebraska's throwing out. By only having 1 stock, it's hard to not only win the next round, but also even, you know, encounter that 4th player that Nebraska's hiding right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the change up in Nebraska's play style. This Snake playing a little bit safer now, right? They know that they're 1 hit away, 1 combo away of being sent off, and they want to finish this, right? They don't want to send it to that 3rd or 4th player, so they're playing a little bit safer. They're using their range attacks a little bit more, dodging out the range from Syracuse, waiting for the stuns from some of their own attacks, going in, finding the value, going for a combo, and looking for 1 final combo to knock out Syracuse for game number 1 here. Nade will hit and will explode on impact as well here, Noah. It's getting scary. Both these players, 1 combo, 1 hit away from being sent off this stage.
Yeah, both players are playing really defensive right now. A lot of shielding going on, but it makes sense. This is a crucial stock right here. Nebraska has a chance to take game 1. Syracuse, Syracuse, you know, just trying to live, you know, see a 3rd player, you know, even if they don't get things done next round, at least you get to, you know, kind of study who you're facing against for game 2.
Oh!
Wow.
Still stays on.
Yeah, Snake's recovery is one of the best in the game. So hard to knock him off.
This Snake is just slithering their way back onto the stage here. Syracuse just trying to get them off, and that will send them off.
Wow.
Takes a couple hits there, gets a little bit scarier than how if you wanted it to go if you are Syracuse, but able to take them off, and you know, as maybe that was enjoyable to watch near the end there. It got a little bit scary.
It did,
You are Syracuse. You are 1 stock compared to the 6 of Nebraska.
Yeah, I think, you know, the odds of Syracuse winning are obviously like 0.1%, right? But I think it's very important that at least you got to this 3rd member of Nebraska to at least just see what they're throwing out. You know, just take it as like a little study game, you know. Obviously, 1 stock, I think just go all out. I think there's really nothing to lose here. It's more just a study game, and I think it's just better to prepare for game 2, you know. Just take this, learn from it, utilize it for the next round.
Yeah, and that's such a good point, right? Is you want to just sort of see, good thing is you get to see this 3rd player now, you get to see a little bit more of what Nebraska's hiding in that sleeve, see if they've got another pair of aces up there, and you get to see that now, right? So I agree, right? Go all out, just sort of see what this next player is capable of for Nebraska, right? Just sort of send it out, see what happens, go for it all out, brawl it out if you have to. It is Super Smash Brothers, so might as well brawl, right? And just sort of see what happens, right? See what they're capable of, see what sort of combos they're looking to do, see how they play, their play style. Are they fast? Are they slow? Are they passive aggressive? Are they going for range? Are they going for more of the hand-to-hand? just sort of seeing it out, testing it out so that you're prepared going into game number 2, because like you said, it's going to be hard to come back. Not to say you can't. We've seen players
of course, yeah,
easily take out 6 stocks without really sacrificing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Link even do it, right?
Yeah.
6-1 there. So
Yeah.
it's entirely possible to see Syracuse come back from this, but I think if you are Syracuse, you're just looking for the most amount of information you can.
pretty much, yeah.
Hero. Talk to me, Noah.
Hero. This is an interesting character because we see the little bar right above his picture there. He's one of the more unique fighters in this game, right? Which can either be really good or really bad based on the trend we've seen from the Cornhusker players. I'm gonna assume this this hero player knows what he's doing, as we see right there.
It's not a great way to start.
Yeah, the skill sets Hero has is just
See, Noah, sometimes you're put in a situation where you can't even get your thought out in time.
I couldn't even get my full thoughts out before the match ended.
Well, Noah, I think that's our time. I think we should retire. Okay. Sort of gathering our thoughts, setting back up, resetting, right? Syracuse.
Yeah.
Just sort of a 1-2 combo there from the hero of Nebraska. In more than one way is the hero of Nebraska. And they will take game number 1, but Syracuse is not out of this yet, right? You still have more games to play. It's a best of 3. So
of course.
Obviously, you're on that sudden death, but it is possible for Syracuse to bring this one back. You've seen a little bit of what Nebraska likes to play. We've seen the Link. We've seen the hero for the brief stint of about 20 seconds that they were on the field.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen the Snake. We've seen some things from Nebraska, right? So if you're Syracuse, go back, think about it a little bit more. How are you going to go and approach this match going into game number 2, right? Who are you going to throw up first? And those types of decisions need to be made.
Yeah, order is a big factor now going into game 2 here. The Mii Brawler obviously had the most success. I don't think you want to throw him out right away, though. I think you do want to save him again. Maybe throw out the Lucina, just see if they can get better luck this time around. It was kind of a rough outing for them the first game. Maybe, just put up a better fight against a Link. 'Cause I do think Lucina and Link is not a terrible matchup for Lucina. I do think that's very doable for the Orange. Might have been just an unlucky round, right? It's looking like the Brawler's our best fighter tonight. Utilize him. Don't hold him off for the anchor. I think you do want to build some confidence and you do want to get some stocks off that board for Nebraska, obviously. But yeah, it's just tough because we didn't see that 4th fighter for Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to say we really saw Hero, really. That game was 10 seconds.
Yeah, getting snooze off rip is a little unfortunate.
We were talking about, getting that stock off Snake was huge because now you can see the 3rd fighter. But that fight, we didn't see much at all.
I think that classifies in caster cursing.
Yeah.
It's a little rough there.
That's add another one to the ticker there.
And like you said, right, that 4th player can come out, and looks like we are going to see, looks like the 4th player for Nebraska, someone different coming out here. The Joker coming out on top, and our King DDD as well. Obviously, a lot of games to play, a lot of things to go ahead and clip. You want to make sure you see some of these great plays. Great way to start for Syracuse to do that. Go ahead and check out the socials. It's going to be at Q's Esports. It's going to be on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch. And then keep the follows as well at Syracuse Esports on the YouTube. A lot of games to play. The PEC still has a week left. This still has a lot of Smash to play. And the King DDD staying up, staying well, and finding the value against this Joker.
Yeah, DDD is one of the more unpredictable fighters to go against in this game because he's a heavy hitter. He's slow, but he has a good amount of range attacks. And I don't know the rankings in terms of power, but he's got to be one of the strongest characters in the game. Just a couple hits, you get sent flying off this map. We see Joker already with 100% there. And yeah, I forgot what the enemy's called. I'm pretty sure it's called Gordo. The Gordo attack where King DD throws that little spiky ball thing. Yeah. It's got one of the weirder bounces in the game, which makes it very harder to kind of counter against. And we see DD utilizing that a lot. That's what DD players tend to really do, the ones who main him. And it's working so far in SU's favor.
Yeah, exactly right. And just like that, we are going to see a stock taken for Syracuse, right? But you have to be aware of that gauge for the side of Nebraska, right? For that Joker. Once you build that up, you could take the fight with some of these heftier characters, right? Now, Syracuse looking to stay up, looking to find another one if they can on the edge, the way that King DD likes to play here. But this Joker looking to just find one more hit, send this King DD off the stage before their meter gets built, right? They want to keep that so that they could go up against it again with an even 2-2 stock here. But Syracuse starting off a lot better than they did in game 9.
Yep, but the Orange are going to hold their ground because DD's a heavy fighter. It's hard to knock him off. All right.
It's always a little bit of a tease to know if they're going to go off the map there or not. So.
Yeah, I mean, in the air, in the air makes sense. He's not an aerial fighter. He's way better on the ground here. Joker didn't fill up that meter either, so just like that, the momentum, a complete 180 now, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? This Joker going to be able to have this meter, right? That gauge is up, so you can take the fight, right? You're okay with getting up close and personal with the King DDD. You have a little bit more power. You have a little bit more of that percentage growth in terms of your hits, and we're already seeing that, right? Going in, good blocks being used from the King DDD, but the combo starting off the edge will go the Joker, right? Trying to find the way to send that King DDD off. A good suck will come in, and as well as the hammer, as that gauge is going to fall, this Joker no longer going to be as competitive against this hefty character of the TDD.
Nope. Really strong edge guarding from both teams as well here. It seems like Joker sends TDD off the map. He does the recovery. TDD comes back on land, swallows Joker, spits him out. Joker does the recovery. Just flip-flop here. It's a really fun match so far. Really back and forth here.
Exactly, right. Going back and forth between these two. A nice hit will go on to Nebraska here. Won't be able to find that spike, but we'll be able to find the second one. The meter, though, growing, right? It's so important to be aware of this gauge and of this meter for Joker, because the second that grows, you can have that fight, right? Here it is. It's going to be grown up again here. Both these players a lot even. Will find a nice hit and will send Syracuse down a stock here, but you're still in a relatively even game. But you have half that gauge to go. You have a lot of hits that you can go in for Nebraska. Syracuse has to be aware of that. You don't want to take early percentage against this gauge.
No, you don't. And that was a huge stock to take for Nebraska. Had that gauge half full, got a stock down, so now you got a comfortable lead here. You're already getting that percent back up. Huge stock from DD, though. Big aerial attacks there.
Making things even once more. 1-1 in terms of stock. Syracuse looking a lot stronger, a lot better here with this flip up here. Will find the spike, but won't be able to find the stun on the recovery as Nebraska stays up. The gauge back up, almost there. One more hit will send them up. We'll be able to find a couple ups. Not going to be able to find a knockout, though. But now, gauge is built up and fully powered. They're going to be looking. They're going to want to go in fast. And they are to do so on the edge. Both these players, a good block comes in from Nebraska. They're looking to find one more hit, 155% for Syracuse on the DDD. They don't want to lose this lead. And unfortunately, they will, as that Joker will find a nice hit and will send Syracuse down. But Syracuse looking a lot stronger than they did in game 1.
Oh, yeah. Very, just way better start, right? Even though you did lose, you have to feel way better because, I mean, we're going on 2 weeks now where this team has not had the ideal start to the series. I would probably say disastrous starts now for 2 straight weeks. You got to take these moral victories here. I think it's a really good start for Syracuse, and I think it's a start that has a lot of potential. It's only, you got Joker to 1 stock here. It's still very winnable here.
Yeah, I agree, right? Syracuse, right? You're not down 3 here. Now you're only down by 1, and you don't have to worry about too much, right? This is pretty consistent with those competitive matchups, right? Something we more expected to see from this Nebraska-Syracuse matchup is to be competitive, right? To be very neck and neck, and now we're going to see that, right? We're going to see that in game 2 here. So for Syracuse, right, looking like they're going to throw out the Brawler once more against this Joker. Noah, give me your thoughts here. Do you think the Joker, or the Joker is a good pick? Obviously, the Joker is going to stay a pick here. Do you think the Brawler is going to be a good pick going in this Joker?
Now, I wasn't a fan of the Mii Brawler selection last round. What we saw what the Brawler was capable of, the SU's player for the Brawler is really skilled. You only need 1 stock here. I don't hate this pick at all. I think the Brawler is rounding up the most momentum on the Orange roster right now. So, I think Syracuse, they recognize that they have a chance to, do some damage here. They're only 1 stock down. You don't know if you're going to get another opportunity like this where you can really compete with the Cornhuskers. I mean, it was a dominant, very one-sided last round. Why not, put your foot on the pedal here, try to take the lead and just build off that momentum for later rounds, later fighters?
Yeah, right. Building off that momentum. Smash is a game where momentum can really take you the whole way through, right? So starting with this brawler, maybe looking to play your Luigi as your anchor this time around, right? Keeping that up and keeping that in the run so that you can really keep this momentum running and keep this going for yourselves, taking out this Joker, looking to find a couple stocks on the next player for the side of Nebraska, and turning that back into your favor, right? Obviously, Syracuse still on the cutting block. You have to be aware of that. You don't really have the ability to afford a 6-stock mistake like in game number 1, but there's a way to start it, especially going into this matchup, only being down by 1. You have the momentum likely going back in your favor. Now all you have to do is just keep it going.
Oh, yeah. And there's a huge weight off your shoulders now, right? With only 1 stock to go after here. Listen, Smash, it could be a chess match at times. On paper, this is not a favorable matchup for the Mii Brawler. But because of what we saw from last round, because it's only a 1-stock game here, at some point, you just have to throw the blueprint away and just throw out your best players. I think that's what SU's doing right here. And I think it really could work out in their favor here. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, right. And Taunt will start it off here. Joker going to already go ahead and get a couple good combos onto this Mii Brawler. So got to be a little bit careful here. You don't want to reach a point where you're already, 80, 90% in the first few seconds. And it's looking scary here, right? A couple shots will go in, and this Joker is okay, right? One of the big things you have to be aware of here, right, is this Joker wants to play on the ledge here now.
Yeah, and we saw some Michigan State too, where the entire time they're just edge guarding and ledge guarding, and SU really had no response for it. And it's not that these SU players don't know how to respond to it, but the fighters they're selecting, matchup-wise, just don't go well with their opponents, right? It's tough losing a stock there, growing Nebraska's lead like that. Yeah, you would have liked to go into the next game, possibly tied, right? Yeah, just strong start for Joker here.
Yeah, and I mean, taking 1 stock off, Nebraska's already feeling good, right? You want to keep this lead. You're already in the lead, right? You're starting to make it comfortable, but now Nebraska just wants to make it almost unwinnable, right? They want to keep finding the value, and finding that onto this Mii Brawler is exactly what they need to do, right? This Brawler trying to find that way back in, but this Joker, like you were saying, right, wants to play on the edge, wants to play on the ledge there, and this Joker is able to do so, right? And this Mii Brawler, if they keep playing near the edge here, this Joker's just going to get exactly what they want, and we're seeing that still only gone up about 15% or so, while this Mii Brawler has almost gone up another 100 in return.
Yeah, the Joker just seems in control of this fight so far.
Yeah, as you were saying, though?
Yeah, the Joker was not in control, apparently. No, really great edge attack there from Mii Brawler. Good read, because I didn't see that coming. And, yeah, you only lose 1 stock now. I mean, you're still down, but, you keep that distance the same there. So, still very promising for SU. And this is still very much winnable. It's anyone's game right now.
Absolutely right. It is still anyone's game, right? You did lose that stock, which is a little unfortunate for Syracuse, but you're not uncomfortable, right? You're at a 1-stock deficit, but you're at a player equivalent, right? Both the teams are down to that second player here. You're just down by 1 stock, right? So this is where Syracuse can really turn it around, right? Take out this player, even if it means you lose a stock, right? That's okay. Obviously not ideal, but it is okay, right? You could switch it up, make a big change here to send it back into your favor. So if you're Syracuse, you're feeling a bit confident here, but you got to reset, right? Stay calm, stay in that mental fortitude of going through, right? Persevere through this competition, because Nebraska, you've now seen this Joker, which could have been that 4th player, right? That Link is probably still back there lingering. The Snake could be back there lingering. There's a lot of things that Nebraska could still throw at you that you may not be fully prepared for.
No. Yeah, listen, these moral victories, they're cute, they're cool, especially after these past 2 weeks, how they've gone.
Yeah.
But at some point, you do want to actually win, right? So Syracuse can't relax here, They do have to regroup because it still very much is winnable here.
Yeah.
It's only a 1-stock game. You have to be able to just... SU's able to get momentum. Well, what I've noticed is, we can't keep it, right? Nebraska's had good reads in every round so far. SU's got to find a way to kind of just stomp on their necks a little bit. Don't give them any room to get up. And hopefully we can see that in this round with the Mii Brawler still here.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to see the Diddy Kong and the Brawler as we expected, right? So going in with this Diddy Kong here, Noah, obviously Diddy Kong, character that can play at this long range here, but is also very fast attacker and some crazy combos starting off. Noah, talk to me a little bit here, but try to get your thought out in time because it may not be too much longer.
I was going to say Diddy's one of the more fun fighters to watch in Smash just because the combos are just outrageous. He's such a speedy character and he can do it all. He's got range, he's got good grappler attacks, really good edge guarding, and we see Nebraska utilizing all of that so far in the first stock, not taking still at 0%, not taking a single hit.
Yeah, no, that's the most impressive part I'm seeing is 0.0. Hasn't even taken a flake of damage. Okay, well, never mind.
All
right, Syracuse.
You got to catch him. You got to catch him eventually, right?
Finding that way back in, right? But you have to be careful, right? This Diddy, like you were saying, right, has very fast attacks, right? Has very fast combos. You can't let this Diddy Kong get that value, right? You have to find your way back in, have to find that opening space to get rid of this Diddy Kong. And
wow.
Both of them go down. Syracuse, no recovery resets for either one of them, and Syracuse going to be down 2 stocks there to nothing.
Yeah. Listen, Diddy should not be that dominant. That was really impressive. Because Diddy's a character that doesn't have any defense. Once you do catch the Diddy Kong slipping, it is kind of easy to combo off that and send him flying off the map because he's also a lightweight character, right?
Yeah.
Nebraska just did a good job just going all over the place, keeping Syracuse on their toes, and that Diddy was unpredictable. It was hard to read what they were doing, especially because we haven't seen this Diddy Kong yet either, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, Nebraska, we expected that we already saw a few of their players now. Most of these Smash rosters in the PEC have more than 4 players, obviously. You have a few to throw in and change up if needed. You know, like, all right, this character counters this character really well. You might throw in that change up, right? But Nebraska throwing in this Diddy Kong, something that the team did sort of talk about a little bit prior, but like you were mentioning, right, it's a light character, but one thing you got to think about in Smash is these light characters, they may be able to get sent off the stage really easily, but they're going to be able to just do a lot of tiny chip combos and get you up really fast to where now you're going to be also sent up really fast and off the map.
Yeah, and it's not like they have any heavy hits either. You know, they slowly build up that percentage, and we saw that with the Diddy Kong, and that percentage is just slowly going up and up and up. It's demoralizing to Syracuse when you have no response, right? Just great start for Nebraska, and I think great pull, too, because in a tightly contested game, it was 9-8 going into it, right? You know, you're thinking Syracuse might have some momentum here, they got a chance. Why not just pull out something they haven't seen, completely catch them off guard, and it worked in Nebraska's favor right there.
Yeah, I mean, Incineroar. That's a change up.
This is a new one. This is a new one for sure.
All right, definitely.
Incineroar is regarded as one of the worst fighters in the game. I'm not gonna lie. He's got to be able to catch Diddy here because Diddy again is a speedster that's gonna be able to just.
I think there might be a little bit of a button check or tech thing going on, but we did get a little bit of a tease, though, of what we're going to see.
Yeah.
Right? This Incineroar and this Diddy Kong. A little bit of a change up here. So, Noah, now that you have some time before things get hectic, because this game has been going incredibly fast, right? Talk to me a little bit about between this matchup, right? What do we want to see from Syracuse? What do we want to see them take advantage of from this Diddy Kong?
You have to let the Diddy Kong come to you, and you basically have to bank on him slipping up because with a character like Incineroar that's so slow, it's all about timing and letting that heavy hit that'll send Diddy flying off the map, right? So just don't be too aggressive. I don't want to say stay in control, but stay on your ground, right? Don't chase Diddy. Let him come to you, and you catch him slipping up eventually. Like, no player's going to be perfect. There will be a slip up here and there. You can't get the timing down. We'll just have to see if that can play out for SU here.
Yeah, and now with this, right, Syracuse already a little bit coming down to a situation where those combos from this Diddy Kong are finding the value that they need to do, right? This Diddy Kong, though, is respecting this a little bit, right? They want to make sure that this Incineroar doesn't get these big hits onto this Diddy Kong, because if so, like you were mentioning, right, just sent off the stage, right? So you have to respect it a little bit, and we are seeing that with this Diddy Kong.
Yeah, this just, right now, the pacing of this fight right now, super fast, right? Diddy's all over the place.
If there may also be potentially a slight change with the network, but you know, as we sort of get through this, right, we are seeing some value come out from that Incineroar, right? Between you and me, obviously, is sort of they figure out the tech thing that might be going on there. But this Incineroar, right, finding those values, and like you were mentioning, right, you want to get those hits, and the Diddy Kong doing a good job of like holding back, right, and wants to give the respect needed when doing so, right. So you have to be a little careful if you are on the side of Nebraska. Give a little bit of respect, right. You don't want to be put in a situation where this Incineroar boxes you out of the stage.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for SU, they saw what Nebraska was throwing at them. We saw Diddy's aggression right off the gate, or right off the bat, excuse me. Yeah, it's a respect thing from both sides, really, because there's obviously going to be pros and cons with each fighter. And these fighters have no similarities whatsoever, right? So there's pros and cons to both of them. And, you know, even though you got this giant lead, Nebraska, you still have to respect Incineroar because he is a heavy hitter. And with such a lightweight character like Diddy, it is very easy to just kind of send him off the map. Diddy, got to get those combos going if you want to get the opponent to 100% damage. Incineroar, it just takes 2 or 3 hits, and you get a stock here, right? So you can't get too comfortable if you're the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, and that's another thing, right, is Incineroar, a character that maybe he doesn't look too big, but definitely a heavy hitter and a hefty character, right? You could stack up close to 150, 160, 170% before Incineroar looks like a character that's going to be sent off the stage, right? So looks maybe deceiving when it comes to this character, right? But Flames of Glory Syracuse is going to be looking for on Incineroar here, and with this, the taunt starts up again here, I believe, as all the tech has been situated and back up and ready to go. Both these players finding combos on each other to start this up. Still even, still starting off relatively safe here. Syracuse down 1 player in their entirety, so you have to try to find your way back in this matchup.
We need some miracles here for sure. Incineroar, if we want to give SU a chance, maybe only lose 1 stock max here, if it's possible. And we see some good combos there again. If you get Diddy in the air, you can send him flying and take advantage of that. But Diddy, again, just such a speedy character, finds a way to get back on the ground, just go all over the place. He's annoying to fight against.
Yeah, he is, right? And he's so all over the place, right? And there's the box, but won't send Diddy off the map there. Still kicking, but maybe still there.
Still there somehow. I'm honest, I don't even know how he's still alive, to be honest. I have no explanation for that.
Diddy Kong, man. I don't know much about the character, but what I do know is the character is very annoying. Right? In multiple ways.
Yeah, just a scrappy fighter. It's just annoying to go against. And Incineroar seemed to control there. Yeah, Syracuse is the one that ends up losing the stock. It's like, how?
Diddy Kong as a whole is just a very interesting character, a unique character, like you were saying, right? Like, it's just you're fast, you're quick, you can take heavy hits, you can go in, you have good DIs to come back into the game, and then you're just all over the place again, right? Syracuse will start to even that stock back up, and like you were saying, losing 1 is okay, right? But you have to get rid of this Diddy Kong now. You have to try to get Nebraska back to their next player.
Absolutely. Yeah, the box out was good. I think you just kind of got unlucky there with the recoveries Diddy Kong was making. I say stick to that game plan, because as you seem to control when they were utilizing that, stick to that game plan. You know, maybe you can survive with 2 stocks here, but huge play from SU. The edge guarding actually worked out in the Arch's favor that time.
Yeah, exactly right. The Incineroar, the Diddy Kong looking to try to find that recovery reset, not able to do so, falls off the map there. At Syracuse, going to be up on the stock here in this setup. Now, keep in mind, Syracuse is not up in the match, but this is a good way for them to start going, right?
Oh, yeah.
Getting rid of this Diddy Kong here, sending this stock away, getting them back down to that player equivalent, right? You may be at a stock disadvantage, but you're going to be back at a player equivalent, and that is crucial for Syracuse to reach.
It is huge. It is huge. And I think just, you know, looking at the matchup as a whole, I think this Incineroar might be catching Nebraska, you know, off guard here, kind of surprising them a little bit. Diddy was coming out with full aggression there, got caught slipping, and now all of a sudden Incineroar is in control with the 1 stock lead in this match alone. You know, Incineroar is regarded as one of the worst characters in the game. You know, SU's players seem skilled. I think you got to respect it.
Absolutely right. Like, you have to respect it. You know, we were talking about having to respect the Incineroar, but it's not just that. You have to respect the players on Syracuse. Incineroar trying to stay up here. Not going to get guarded that time, but will get ledge attacked. And this Diddy Kong looking to just try to stop that recovery. Not going to be able to find it, though. Will find the grab. And another stock will be taken from Syracuse. You're reaching a scary point of no return here, Noah.
Yeah, great play from Nebraska there. We see that heavy hit, though. And that's all it takes to send Diddy flying.
It is, right? And, you know, Syracuse now starting to even that series back up, right? You're on the equivalent player. You're down 2 stocks, though, right? There's Incineroar, 1 left, right? You have 4 stocks total compared to Nebraska's 6.
Yep.
They've got 2 players left, 2 players still kicking here. And I mean, I hate to say it, Noah, but we know that Link is probably somewhere lingering, waiting for Syracuse. And, you know, the Link, the Snake, we haven't seen either one of those come back out yet.
No.
We heard rumors they may have a Palutena. Going against this Incineroar, if you're Nebraska, right, obviously you have the ability to pick whoever you want now. If you're Syracuse, what do you want to not see? And if you have to see what you want to not see, what do you have to do?
Man, we've been hearing Palutena, Bayonetta. We got the Link we saw. It seems Nebraska's cards are just so stacked, right? For SU, what you don't want to see is those heavy fighters that could balance out Incineroar. Because Incineroar, he's a heavy hitter, but he's not fast. He doesn't have range. Palutena and Bayonetta, those are fighters who have pretty much clear advantages in every kind of stat, every category, right? You want to see a lightweight character at this point. Now, heavy hitters like Incineroar don't do good against speedsters, but we just saw in that last match, if they do slip up, it does benefit fighters like Incineroar. We saw the corners could slip up there. I mean, Diddy looked unstoppable the first round, but we saw it is possible to dethrone them. I mean, do you want to take this away? I just got another glimpse.
Noah, sometimes... Look, sometimes I hate when I see in the corner of my eyes. You know, I'm enjoying having a nice conversation with you.
Yep,
you know, I'm enjoying talking, and in the corner of my eye, I see a character, one in particular that scares me a little bit. I've seen her in many of these games. I've seen her very, very impressive. She has the ability to take those long range. She's a quick fighter. She has quick combos. There's some characters in Smash I don't know much, but Bayonetta is one of them. And Noah, it's just scary to see.
Yeah, if you were to pull up a community tier list, Bayonetta is like S tier, Incineroar is way at the bottom F tier. This is
like around the D area.
This is a David versus Goliath matchup right here. And the only advantage I see for Incineroar is you got momentum on your side, right? At least you got a win under your belt. Unless like Nebraska just terribly slips up here, though. I'll be honest, Ryan, I don't see a way Incineroar could even take a stock here, to be honest. I'm expecting a strong start for Nebraska if they're pulling Bayonetta up right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? With Bayonetta, you have the range, right? And you're just going to be looking to poke that range, poke the percentage up until eventually you go in and you just find the final knockout, right? And this Incineroar, you need to be closed space. You need to be on top of that Bayonetta, and she's going to make it almost impossible. And on a stage like Pokemon Stadium 2, you have the range, you have the height. I mean, this is going to be very difficult for Syracuse to find that space, find that value to just get in. You kind of have to rely on your combos just to get towards her.
Exactly, and Incineroar's not a character that's fast enough to get face-to-face like that, right? So you have to literally bank on Nebraska slipping up here. Now, they're coming out pretty aggressive. I don't really like that. If you're Nebraska, I think you kind of want Incineroar to come towards you. I think there's no reason to be aggressive here. We see these aerial attacks coming out early already, man.
I mean, she's so scary, right? I mean,
took off 70% right there.
You have the ability to take this long range, but also you have such gruesome combos. I mean, you just go 1-2 spin, 1-2 spin, 1-2 spin. But as I'm saying, that 1-2 punch, and Nebraska will lose a stock there. Going to be good for Syracuse. You're looking to try to keep this even, right? This Bayonetta, if she wants to take that close fight quarters with you, you're willing to take it, right?
Yeah, welcome that, 100%.
Right, exactly, right. Watch out for these combos that this Bayonetta is going to be looking for, but if you can avoid those, right, you cancel one of those combos, she's going to be stunned for a lock there for a second, and you can take full advantage.
Yeah, 120% one stock. Just stay your ground. No reason to be aggressive here. Let Bayonetta come towards you. That's really all you can do as Incineroar and hope they slip up. But yeah, we just see the aggression coming out of Nebraska right now on the edge with these aerial attacks. With a stomp right there.
Stomp, I mean, you know, the Incineroar not able to even find the recovery there. It looks like a little bit of BM if you ask me, but Nebraska with the Bayonetta, you know, a very uphill battle. Like we were talking about it already, right? Bayonetta against Incineroar can be very difficult here, but now you approach your final player for Syracuse, right? The anchor of the team for this go around here, this 3 stock to 5. You're going to throw out this Luigi. Noah, this Luigi versus this Bayonetta here. this is going to get a little interesting because
It
both
is.
these characters have combos to send you off in a matter of seconds.
It is. It's really just what player get to the other person's face quicker, really, because this is going to be a full-out offensive game here. Two players with some of the nastiest combos in the game, especially in the air. The aerial attacks between these two fighters are crazy. I'm honestly expecting this to be a quick one because I think there's going to be no defense, full-on aggression.
Yeah.
And with the aerial attacks, it's a lot easier to send your opponent off the map. Should be fun. Should be a fast one. Syracuse, though, you are down. You do have to keep that in mind. Maybe let Nebraska go crazy first just to see what Bayonetta's kind of throwing at you. I'm excited. This is going to be a good one. This should be a fun one.
It's going to be good. It's going to be fast. It's going to be interesting. And, you know, like you were saying, right, it's going to be fast. And there's no defense, basically, between these two characters, right? So you're going to be looking for those areas. Going to be looking to go up fast. And between these two characters, it's really a matter of just who slips up, right? You know, both these characters, like you were saying, have really fast attacks, have really fast aerial, just sort of 0 to 100 moves. Now, Luigi quite literally has a 0 to 100. But, like, you have both these characters, and like you were saying, it is going to be a matter of that fast-paced play. But when it comes down to it, it's who doesn't find the connection in the air, right?
Exactly.
Will the Luigi be able to find that kick? Will the Bayonetta be able to find that spin in the air? If they can't, then the other player is likely going to be the one who's able to find that aerial advantage and send them off the map because it's most likely most of this game is going to happen up in the sky.
Yeah, and we can't predict which player is going to find the aerial attacks first.
I have a preference.
Oh, yeah, I mean, after what we just saw. But that wasn't...
And we're on a very small stadium.
Yeah, so the range is going to be huge for Nebraska here.
Taunt started off here, and both these players, like you were saying, started off fast, and the combo starting off for the Bayonetta for Nebraska, just 1-2, finding good ones here. Both these characters have okay recoveries as well, right? So it's going to be interesting to see sort of which one, if you could send them too far off the side here. The combos, though, for the Luigi, going to go in. Both these players, both of them have found good combos.
Yeah.
And look at this, even percentage, right? Now it's the Bayonetta's turn to go in return. Luigi Tornado sends it to a stop. Even here, fast-paced. Noah, could you have predicted it any better?
Yeah, this is how this game's going to be. It's two fighters who rely on combos 100%. It's going to be flip-flop, flip-flop. We see Luigi strike there first. Yeah, so it's...
Oh!
We see how quickly things are changing between these two fighters, though, and that's what I was expecting. With a game with no defense, you kind of expect these complete 180 turns here, and we're seeing that already.
Yeah, right. And I mean, you were able to find one stock there. Nebraska finding their one as well. Obviously, if you're Syracuse, just get this one, right? Find this one and going 2-3 going into that final match. It's not bad, right? Especially with a character like Luigi who can find good value on, but you can't afford to lose another stock. You're in the air. The Tornado will cancel the combo and just barely going to miss the fist there as they're going to still survive in the middle of the stage. This Luigi looking for their next flip, but the slow comes in as well as the fist. One hit away will be this Luigi. Going to be able to find it. We're on the side of the stage here, Noah, and unfortunately Luigi will be the one who draws the short stick, and a stock will be lost.
It's not fair. It's almost not fair. the range of attacks Bayonetta has compared to Luigi's, it's not even comparable, right? Bayonetta just utilized that. Was super unpredictable there too, using the slow attack, getting Luigi to the edge, then fighting in the air on the bottom of the stage. She's all over the place. It's hard to predict. It's hard to read. And it's also just scary in general to go against. It kind of makes you freeze a little bit. Just
it does, right? I mean, both these characters, you kind of just freeze and don't know what's going to happen next. But this Bayonetta finds another combo here.
And Luigi's such a lightweight fighter, too, compared to Bayonetta.
Oh, no.
Ooh. Syracuse got bailed right there. She missed an attack right there. But yeah, Luigi's such a lightweight fighter, too, that it's just easy for Nebraska to just throw SU around, back and forth. And we see it right there.
And it's scary, right? Like, with both these characters, you want to look for those combos, but the heaviest hit for that Bayonetta is going to be those fists, right? You're going to be able to just summon that from the astral plane and send you off the stage. And unfortunately, with that, Syracuse will take a 0-2 defeat to Nebraska. That means this week, Syracuse will take a sweep from Nebraska. These teams, a very even matchup all week here, but at the end of the day, Nebraska will take week number 6 here of the tournament.
And
as we approach near the end.
Yeah, and so late into the fall year, too. This is not what you want to see for SU. Pretty just devastating week overall in every game. For Smash, coming off that MSU loss, you maybe would have liked to see them take a game here. And especially against a team where they're similarly ranked. They had the same records. So seeing Nebraska just kind of cruise. Now, SU were missing a couple key players here. It would have been a different story if we saw that Yoshi, obviously,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
But you don't, that's kind of an excuse you could use, but you don't want to just dwindle on that. You still should have been able to at least put up a better fight. Because we didn't even see Nebraska go through all 4 of their fighters in either game.
Yeah.
Right? So the Cornhuskers just dominated from start to finish.
Yeah.
Tough. It's tough for SU. Tough times right now.
It is tough, but it's not out of the park yet,
Not
right?
at all.
You still got 1 more week left of the PEC. Kansas, the Orange are coming after you next week, and that is going to be the final week of this season's PEC. Obviously, like I said, we'll talk about it more next week so you can be filled in about what's happening for the PEC for this semester, what's happening next semester, what's happening in April. There's so much more you got to keep up on, but that will wrap it up for us here this week on the broadcast. Hope you enjoyed. Next week, all 4 matches, all 4 games will be played again, so you don't want to miss it. Hopefully you have enjoyed this week. Hopefully you enjoyed this night. So wherever you may be, morning, evening, afternoon, have a good one.